And as Michelle said, there was physical contact. This is before we had the local level and everything. On her own, Linda decided it was necessary to put in her statement there was absolutely no physical contact between us. That question hadn't even come up yet.
Yeah, I'd also like to bring up that in Michelle's initial statement in the investigation, at no point in time did she say that she had grabbed the mat or that Linda had hit her.
You mentioned, Dan, that in her first statement she never mentioned anything about slapping her hand in her first statement. Was it a written statement?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of that?
It's in the presentation.
Did she ever give you a second handwritten statement?
No. Her initial statement where she described what she was doing, she was probably 15 feet away from Michelle moving the mat, or Linda moving the mat, and she had turned around and had communicated that she had said that. In her second statement, after she had written her first statement, the story changed to where she had said she had grabbed the mat. The presentation by the union also made point that there has been issues in that area. I have approximately 27 people that work in that area, and to date with this situation I've only had 4 individuals that I've had to deal with, and out of the 4, 3 of them have resolved the problems. We have no more issues. The only person that has not been able to work and play with others is Michelle, and I just wanted to bring that point up.
Michelle, can you tell me why those?
I was very nervous. I get nervous around Dan. Very nervous.
Is that an important part of it, you think?
I believe it is an important part of
Her
it.
slapping your hand?
It was said, but it wasn't written. Yeah, I believe it was very important.
What do you mean it was said?
I spoke it, I said it, but I didn't write it down.
Who did you say it to?
These are these 2 guys right here, Andrew and Dan, on my first initial meeting.
After her written statement to the company, after her written statement, when did you find out about the hand slapping, or did she say that during some of your interviews and just didn't write it down?
At the end of the written statement you have, before the line is drawn in where I seal it, she made the statement, which ran counter to the statement she had given prior to that. During the interview process, I started asking questions about the events, trying to get all the details.
Here's my question. From the time she wrote the statement to the time she told you about slapping of the hand, how much time expired?
She finished
From the
writing
time
last,
she ended it until the time she told you that?
She finished writing her last statement and then looked up and said, by the way, she hit me. It wasn't anything big, but...
Okay, so she mentioned it at the time of after she gave you the statement?
Yes.
Okay. Did you find that significant?
I found the statement significant because it contradicted what she had said previously.
Well, it wasn't days previously, right? It was like seconds.
It was minutes.
Minutes, right?
What part did it contradict?
In an earlier verbal statement that she gave, nothing written on her part.
If I can explain.
But it didn't contradict it, right? She just didn't put it in there?
It contradicted it.
She looks up at me and says, by the way, I tried to grab the mat and I get my hand slapped. I find the contradiction interesting.
I was brought back with pay because she was the only person doing the screaming. It was only when she had to go to state, the first time ever that anybody alleged violence. When she had to go to state to get her job back, that she brought up any allegations of violence at the state hearing and claimed I slapped her hands. Dan Kelly will attest to the fact that it was not brought up the day of the mat moving. She was hired back without pay.
I'll tell you where I'm at, Michelle. I personally, this shit she's doing, if it was me, I would just blow it off.
When I filed my civil complaint on UPS, on Linda, and on those managers, UPS lawyers defended all of them, even Linda.